Welcome to News Hour. I'm Harold Williams. Coming up, President Julius Maada has received former head of state Melvin Valentine Strasser at State Lodge after receiving medical treatment in Ghana. Marampa Mine's first ocean vessel has arrived in the Queen Elizabeth II Quay for the first export of the previously contested Marampa iron blue ore. And NACOVAT's Deputy Coordinator Operations Lead says the several public health advisories to curtail the transmission of COVID-19 would be enforced to the letter, and defaulters will face the full penalty of the law. With those stories and more coming up next in News Hour after this brief coronavirus preventive message. Stay tuned. Coronavirus is still with us. Mask up, get vaccinated, and stay safe. President Julius Maada has received at State House Valentine Melvin Strasser after his medical treatment in Ghana. Mr. Strasser was accompanied by a high-power delegation, including the High Commissioner Francis Anderson. Hawan Siri has more report.
Valentine Melvin Strasser was flown to Ghana in 2019 for medical care at the EO Care Medical Center and the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The former head of state has spent considerable time in Accra undergoing several treatments. Valentine Strasser returned home on Sunday, 4th July, and was taken to the State Lodge to meet with President Julius Maada. High Commissioner to Ghana Francis Anderson was charged with the responsibility to monitor Mr. Strasser's treatment and recovery.
The task you gave us as a mission in Accra has been accomplished. We want to thank you very much for your support, especially your personal support. We thank you so much, and also we should let you know that kind of passion and love you showed for the former head of state gave him a very strong power to also fight. And today the proof is all here.
President Julius Maada expressed thanks to the delegation for their support and care for the former head of state. He assured Valentine Strasser of his continuous support and also handed over keys to a newly constructed house in his honor.
I'm glad to have you in one beat.
Yes, sir.
It's really a pleasure, and welcome back to your home country. And I'm happy that you've gone through the treatment and you're back home. Wish you the best, and whatever we can do to make you comfortable, you can rest assured that we will do that. I'm particularly happy that you came in the company of co-comrades. You fought with, worked with, who are still by your side. And I want to assure you that I am still there and I'll be there for you. Yeah, very, very happy to have you back. And I have the honor and pleasure to hand over to you the keys to your new home. Thank you.
Former head of state Valentine Strasser commended President Julius Maada for the support and thanked the High Commissioner for the care she provided during her stay in Ghana.
Myself, and members in the staff actually did so well in helping me cope with both the treatment and the physical sessions. So I can't thank you as many more as she can. So she actually did the work, and I'd like to extend my gratitude to her personally for the work she did in my field. So thank you so much.
The former head of state was driven to his new house in Grafton immediately after his meeting with President Julius Maada Bio. SBC TV News Eye in Freetown, Hawa Mosque reporting.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Henry John Omako, has paid a call on President Julius Maada Bio at State House. The High Commissioner also updated the President on new developments that are taking place, and especially the direct flights that will soon commence from Lagos to Sierra Leone. Hawa Masiri has the story.
Let's sit down, please. Welcome.
After presenting his letter of credence, High Commissioner Henry John Omako told President Bio that he has been in the country for a while and that Nigeria and Sierra Leone had enjoyed strong bilateral ties for decades. He said that he will ensure that during his tenure of office, he will make sure that he expands on the bilateral relationship. The High Commissioner said their government is trying to work on some programs, amongst which is a direct flight that will soon start operations from Lagos to Sierra Leone.
We're coming in with a partner, that is Airpeace Nigeria. We'll have a direct flight now from Lagos to Freetown, and to improve a lot of things economically. And also we are looking at going beyond that relationship by having a national flight for Sierra Leone, which I've discussed with Airpeace. They are ready to come in to partner with Sierra Leonean government to have a national flight for this country. And so many other investors that in a short possible period of time will come into Sierra Leone to boost the Sierra Leonean economy and have a better relationship with Sierra Leone and Nigeria.
President Julius Maada Bio said that the two countries have been working in close collaboration for decades.
We have enjoyed a very good relationship with the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and I hope that during your tenure we will expand on this relationship and deepen it. And it is my ardent hope that you will play your part too. So you can rest assured that I'm always here to work with you. You're very much welcome again.
Thank you.
He said they are enjoying the good relationship between the two countries and pledged his commitments to strengthen it. SBC News Eye in Freetown, Hawa Mosiri reporting.
Marampa Mine's first ocean vessel has arrived on the shores of Sierra Leone to export the loading of 65% iron ore concentrate. The Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Timothy Kaba, inspected the merchant vessel C.L. Judy stationed at the Queen Elizabeth II Quay for the first export. The export of the over 700,000 tons of Marampa iron ore will be stocked at the Marampa Mines Port Local District, and this came out of an out-of-court settlement recently. Aruna Kamara has the details.
One of the world's leading metal merchants has arrived to carry the first pile of blue iron ore, which has been piled for over a year in Marampa Post-Local District. The shipment of the first set of blue ore is part of the fulfillment of a contract signed on the 25th May this year from an out-of-court settlement between the government of Sierra Leone and Gerald Group Company. The Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Timothy Kaba, said he was excited to see this new development as it will eventually create job opportunities for young people.
It's agreed that the new company, where government has 10% free carry interest, Marampa Mine, this company will be shipping this iron ore, and in lieu of taxes, royalties and other taxes, a fixed payment of about $20 million will be made to the government, and the first payment will be expected by the 31st of October. It will be to the tune of about $10 million United States dollars, and by the end of the year, the second and last tranche of $10 million will be paid.
The Chief Executive Officer, Marampa Mines Limited, Christine, said they are happy to continue with their operations in the country as the out-of-court settlement, according to him, is a win-win situation for both parties.
This is very much a win-win for everyone, and we can thank His Excellency, and I thank as well my group who put a lot of time and effort, and now are looking at really expanding this project as much as possible.
The first shipment will leave the shores of Sierra Leone with 60,000 tons out of the 7,700 tons of blue ore. The team is working quickly to resume iron ore mining and processing at the start. That will create over 100,000 job opportunities and workforce for over 90% of local employees and contractors this year. The suspension of the iron ore exports from SL mining operations at Marampa in Sierra Leone left stockpiles of more than 500,000 tons of concrete at the mine in Potloko district. An export ban was imposed on SL Mining, a subsidiary of Jewel Group, by the country's former Minister of Mines and Resources, Fodorado Yoki, from July 24, 2019, on the expiry of a production suspension order that was issued on July 3, 2019. For SABC News in Freetown, Auna Kamara reporting.
NACOVAC has issued out several public health advisories to curtail the transmission of the COVID-19 virus. In an interview with Ibrahim Samura, NACOVAC's Deputy Coordinator Operations Pillar Lead, Frank Williams, said the measures on weddings and funerals would be enforced to the fullest letter of the law.
The application through NACOVAC for public activities is not really strange, it's not new. It's like we are asking the public to actually engage also. We are fully informed about certain activities they want to undertake. And that one will definitely ease the level to which we are supposed to supervise and monitor public activities. Burial and marriages. There was a little information we needed to clear with the public after President's pronouncement on the closure of congregational worships at various places of worship. Again, we have to be sure that the public do the right thing. That was why an additional or clarity was made from NACOVAC to the public that if you want to involve in such activities using those worship places, NACOVAC should be informed. You apply to us. Nothing has changed much. We still maintain the 50 persons per program. And then we want to be sure that the church or mosque that you're going to use for the funeral or the wedding, the church executive or the mosque executive is fully informed, and then we stay in touch with them. By the public engaging us, it enhances our ability to actually monitor what they are supposed to do.
And the area you just mentioned, wherein you said that the address and name of the mosque, pastor or the imam in charge. This is what the public is now saying that one is new.
It might be new. Like I said, it helps to enhance aspects of monitoring the public activities. With all of those details, we will now get in touch directly with the leadership of that mosque or the church to actually plead with them that they should take responsibility of their places of worship and ensure whosoever has that event does the right thing.
Now, for instance, for the Muslim, sir, Mr. Williams, when you said that it should apply, you know, Muslim, when someone died, before 2, they want to bury that individual around 2 o'clock or maybe 4 o'clock. So with all that delay, don't you think will affect the people?
We don't want to describe that as a delay. We are very, very much flexible with that, and we are not averse to anything that will help enhance the work that we do. We know with the Muslim, they hardly overnight with corpse. You will die in the morning, maybe late in the afternoon, they are ready for you to be buried. Again, honestly, our door is open, and we are very, very much flexible to attend to such requests. Yesterday, we had a very long day in the office, and those issues were addressed because they come in, we look at the date, we look at the time, then we respond. Some requests, definitely, we put weight on them because they've given us some long notice for their activities. Like for our brothers and sisters who are Muslims, they come in the morning, there's a burial late in the afternoon, automatically we give them their approval.
This time also, you mentioned about introducing the portal system. So how effective this one will be, and how soon are you going to establish this portal?
We can't be everywhere at the same time, and we want to be proactive and productive with time. So what we are doing, we have decided to go electronics and move away from the paper-based way of doing things, so that we will give public response in real time in whatever reply they want from us. And the portal will be up and running very soon, and then we will communicate all of the information necessary for the public to get, so that we will avoid that rush of people coming to the office.
And what new also perceived by the public is the area where you said that this time you are going to take swabs of dead bodies.
Taking those swabs so that we will ascertain what actually was the cause of death.
And today we are expecting the full implementation of the curfew. What has been the security architecture, because you'll be going to lead that implementation process as pronounced by the president?
In our last curfew, what we did, we looked at essential services. People that we know definitely have to be on the streets, be it curfew or not. We have those institutions, we have their details, we are doing what we refer to as white listing. So we are going to whitelist those institutions who send their own quota. It's a quota system like SLBC, who whitelist SLBC, who send your quota to you by email with the portal link. You do your own application, you generate your own passcode.
That was the NACOVAC Deputy Coordinator Operations Pillar Lead Frank Williams in dialogue with our Ibrahim Samora. The President announced a raft of measures to prevent a third wave of coronavirus, COVID-19, and this includes a ban on all religious congregational services nationwide. Secretary General of the InterReligious Council is Reverend Dr. Jesse Usman Fornam. He spoke with Emmanuel Samura about the issue.
We would move in the right direction in the fight against COVID-19, but the fact of the matter is that we're a little bit shocked and surprised, in the sense that some religious leaders are talking about if you close churches and mosques and then you extend the time for people in the bars and restaurants, if you close centers of worship and then your children who go to school and spend 6-8 hours and they thought that be for a maximum of 2 hours. If you consider people who are living in universities and going to schools, the number of time they spend, people are losing the podas and the kekes as compared to what is happening in church. People are thinking that we don't think that was a just decision as far as the church was concerned and the mosques. Secondly, we are partners in development with NACOVAC. We are moral guarantors of the peace of this country. We are a civil society, with a defect, having the largest constituency in this country. And we work for the good of the people, including His Excellency the President himself. The tradition had been issue that has to do with religion. They have been used to contacting the InterReligious Council so that together we can profile solutions and recommendations as to how we can fight various pandemics that come into this country. When it did not happen this time, it became a shock. It became more of a shocking news to us because the previous day, which was on Wednesday, key religious leaders of this country held a meeting with representatives of NACOVAC and the Council of Churches in Senegal, wherein we raised concerns over the compulsory vaccination of people. Unfortunately, the people who came to represent NACOVAC, they are the security sectors. We did not have the spokesman who was busy in another meeting, maybe it was in the presidential task force. We don't have Brother Harold in the meeting. We don't have the chairman himself, and even the social mobilization pillar leader. They were not there. So most of the questions we asked, the security guys could not tell us. They would tell us they are not lawyers, they are not medical people, they are not scientists people, and therefore they could not speak to us. So if they come to that meeting the following day, we hear that all churches are closed. We did not have any glimpse of it. It was a shocking news to us. However, we have the responsibility to obey authorities that God has placed over us. It is the government responsibility to protect lives and properties. And if the development strides the government is moving towards is under threat, the president may be confused. People who are trying to handle the issues of the country may be confused. They may be prepared by the given circumstances and take decisions that he did not really plan or give it a second thought. It is in that vein we said we have to be the president of the land because he's appointed by God and we are obliged by the Bible and the Quran to respect his views. That was why on Friday all the churches were closed and on Sunday all the churches across the country we spoke to our people, they were all closed. However, we think there is a need for us to continue talking together, negotiating, trying to put things together as to how we can move forward. Because we cannot leave God out of this business. If God is not in the midst of what we are doing in the fight against COVID, we are wasting our time. We should not believe in that, according to the Bible and the Quran. So that is why we have resolved to engage NACOVAC tomorrow, to go discuss and see what are the issues that they know that we do not know. What are the issues that they have discovered about the place of worship? Are we the most vulnerable institution in the fight against COVID or not? If yes or no, we'll come up with solutions as to how we can agree in the fight against COVID-19 in the country.
So on Sunday they go to the church on Sunday. So some people miss that. So what are some of the issues that you'll be discussing with NACOVAC to see how they can be able to pipe down some of these issues?
Honestly speaking, I didn't want to say it here, but we really want to appeal to NACOVAC and the government of Sierra Leone. So please create an opportunity where we can have God be central in the fight against COVID. NACOVAC counts on the InterReligious Council, by extension the religious institutions in the country, to help them fight COVID-19. Like we did in Ebola. It was only when the religious leaders came on board we were able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think this is the same situation. If you are asking us to come join you in the fight against COVID-19, the solution centers where we are able to reach our people and share with them the message is in the church and in the mosque. And if the church and the mosque are closed, how do we reach them? It will be a very difficult situation. I think in the past we have observed the physical or social distancing. We have observed the washing of hands or using sanitizers. We have observed the use of face and masks in every church and mosque. During the first and second wave, there was not a church that was closed, even though NACOVAC went around to make investigations. We also had to ask our own independent religious groups to do an investigation of the compliance level of our religious communities. Through Legal Link, which is headed by Dr. Lawyer Rashid Ubuya, they went around the country and they produced a very nice report that we presented to NACOVAC about the compliance of religious leaders in carrying out their work. We want to continue in that spirit so that we have God honored, we have God respected, we have God in this fight, and only God can help us to come out of the pandemic.
Going further, as much as the pronouncement has already been made, what would be your message to the people, worshippers, to abide, or what do you tell them to do at this particular point in time?
All the umbrella heads of the various religious institutions in the country, immediately after the president made his pronouncement, they all sent messages in their WhatsApp group. Some sent audio messages telling the people, don't forget that we are religious leaders. We are the symbols of peace. We are not a civil society that is ordinary. People should not see us jumping on the street and causing noise. Our business is to have constructive engagement. Therefore, abide by what you have heard from the president. Don't go to your mosque on Friday. On Sunday, stay away from the church. And let's find a way to engage lawmakers so that we can discuss further and see what will come out of it. We have obeyed and will continue to obey. Whatever conclusion that we come up with tomorrow in our meeting, we are ready to go by it, because that is the mandate given to us by our God, who is to be remembered and who is to be worshipped and who is to be honored in all that we do.
Secretary General for the InterReligious Council, Reverend Dr. Jesse Usman Funa, was in conversation with Emmanuel Samura. Well, there were also stringent measures for churches. Jonathan Turner visited churches in the western area to ascertain whether they also complied with the ban on religious congregations.
Since the COVID-19 struck the country, this is the second time religious places have been put to an hold. Such directive by the president is to ensure that the COVID-19 is eradicated across the country. Sunday services normally attracts a huge congregation, but as the third wave of the disease showed up, the number of COVID infections continues to rise in Sierra Leone, especially in the capital, Freetown. The country's agency responsible for managing the government's COVID strategy, NACOVAC, has intensified measures in eradicating the coronavirus in the country. This has led to the banning of congregational worship for a period of 1 month. Because of the third wave, churches are complying and some even locked their entrance gates with padlocks. This is the Leone Methodist Church. As you can see, the door is closed. The church authorities are adhering to the direction of the president, which is to ensure that the COVID-19 is eradicated across the country. However, even though the churches were locked, I was able to talk to a few members who were around the church premises.
We guys, we are used to interact with others after every Sunday after Sunday we are used to interact with others. But because of the COVID-19 and then the president have passed his verdict so that we can stay at home to see the betterment of this country, I think let us comply with the message that the president have sent to us, and then let us obey the rules of the president.
Well, at this particular time, we should just hope and pray that the good Lord will help us to eradicate this COVID we are going through, because it's not only in Sierra Leone, it's all over the world. But for them, let them know that closing of the church will not stop them from worshiping God. The church is just a building where we come to gather ourselves so that we can be in unity in worshiping God, but they themselves are the church.
Adding that as Christians should not be negligent in the area of health care and personal hygiene. The church will help the government pray and educate its members on the new measures to curb the COVID-19 third wave as infections rise, and comply with taking the vaccine, mandatory use of face masks, hand washing, and social distancing. For SLBC News, Jonathan Turner reporting.
Meanwhile, Mohammed Lamin visited at least one mosque in Freetown to ascertain whether Muslims were also in compliance with the ban on religious services. Let's have a look for ourselves.
At the King's Center Mosque to look at compliance in relation to his speech by His Excellency. Here at the King's Center Mosque, it's almost 1:30 hours of this moment. This place would have been filled by worshippers, but as of this moment, it is empty. It tells how many Muslim community are putting things in place to ensure they obey the rules and regulations set up by experts in ensuring that we combat the Delta variant as we are in the third wave. Going in now, inside the machine, it's empty. This place will have been filled with worshippers out of this moment. Here is Sheikh Ibrahim Sila, one of the sheikhs. So how many compliance measures do you have?
Actually, as you now see, by now, you have the floor. The measures we
As you can see, our mosque will have been flooded by worshippers by now, if not for the recent COVID-19 restrictions. As a way to join in the fight, we are obeying it. As of this moment, we do not allow people inside the mosque to obey the rules and regulations of the health experts. By normal time, here will have been filled with worshippers all over, observing the Friday prayers. As of now, the place is empty.
This is the present situation at the center box. It is empty, but I am Mohammed.
Following the nationwide address by His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio on the 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew, our reporter Abdul Kabir was out and about to source the views of the public about this.
Well, as for me, an officer I get any issue because it's like prevention for all identity for the country for research. That's my officer.
I'm not saying a bad thing, but I just want to work at least 10 o'clock if I'm in the US. Stand up for meeting in the US. I don't say waiting for you in the street 11 o'clock.
Not bad anyway. But like, I'm saying anything they are people for you. Just that kind of way.
Come on, and they will come again from now to 12 o'clock, and they will come again. May have my son on Conwy.
Well, for preventing problem, I don't go deny. I have offense for larger times. Cannot just abandon my family because I know this offense on behalf of my family.
Views of some Sierra Leoneans on the month-long 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew. In a bid to intensify their efforts in the fight against the third wave of the COVID-19, President of the Drivers Union, Alpha Amadou Ba, has called on commercial drivers to abide by COVID-19 regulations and affirmed his union has contributed immensely in the fight against the deadly virus. Alpha Amadou Ba was at our New England studio where he spoke with Mohamed Kourma.
We've made so many contributions to what is all over the world now, this COVID-19. Of course, we haven't lost any driver yet. Like the last one, the Ebola herein, we lost up to 32 drivers. But this time, we haven't lost any driver yet. We say thanks to the Almighty God for that. Well, our role is to make sure we sensitize our membership, we educate them, and tell them exactly what government, through NACOVAC, has said. When His Excellency, the President, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, read the press release, automatically we went on actions. But before that, NACOVAC called us in a meeting how are we going to strategize and talk to people to comply with His Excellency's press release. Okay. So, I think that's going on. And since last year when this COVID-19 started, there was a restriction on drivers, and that restriction has never been lifted. We have never been lifted, and it's still going on. We are still carrying two behind one before. We are not overloading our vehicles. If any driver does that, he's doing it at his or her own risk.
Okay, so as you speak, we also see now drivers, some are not using the face mask. We all know it's very, very important. So what can you say about that?
Well, you see, most of these people, they are lawless. Okay. You see, when you meet people whom you are not trained, you know, it's hard to talk to them. Some comply, some doesn't. Most of them, like I say, 80 to 90% of them have face masks, but they don't use it. In fact, what they do is put this face mask down their chin. Okay. They have the face mask, but they are reluctant to use it. That's why normally what I tell them is, if you don't use your face mask, do you expect a passenger to use his or her own face mask? It's not. Make sure you tell the passengers nobody should board this vehicle without face mask. And that they are doing it. But when the passenger goes into that vehicle, remove the face mask because he or she have seen the driver and the passenger are not using the face mask in a proper manner.
Don't you have some penalties for those who might boycott or might fail to abide by the COVID-19 precautionary measures?
My brother, the penalty is there. We have our own bylaws. But the other one from NACOVAC NACOVAC team. When you are caught, it's 2,500,000. We have negotiated that now it's 1 million loan or 500,000 loans. So if you don't want to pay that 1,500,000, use your face mask. Tell your apprentice to use his face mask. You know, this is not the time where we start warning people. Everybody knows some Puda drivers and bus drivers have been paying this money. And some buses have packed because of, they say, oh, if I don't overload, I will get my money. So what we normally tell them, pack your vehicle. When COVID is finished, you apply the route map. But if you don't use your face mask, and if you do not obey what His Excellency has said, pack your vehicle.
According to the president, drivers are to be vaccinated. What do you make of that?
When that speech came out, people of countries interpreted that speech differently. They started asking drivers for COVID vaccine card, that McLeach card. Some don't have it. What they did is to unpack their vehicles. But it's good again. NACOVAC here in Freetown get a press release, and that press release had so much weight because with that press release, so many areas, more like Bo, the DCOVAC in Bo have already set a press release out that no driver should fly within Bo without that vaccine card.
What's your message to the drivers out there as a way of them complying with the COVID preventive measures?
I've said this on so many videos. Make sure you comply. Use your face mask. Don't overload your vehicle. Don't go out after 11 o'clock. It's a coffee time for 1 month. Don't go out after 11 o'clock. It's a coffee time for 1 month. Make sure you obey all these rules made by His Excellency the President. Please, drivers, let us comply with these regulations. Otherwise, this fight is everybody's fight. Not government alone, not President Bio alone, not NACOVAC alone. It's for us all. Let us stand against COVID-19.
In a little business development, the chairman, EcoBank Board of Directors, Christopher Forster, has said that EcoBank will not relent in its drive to improve customer services in banking across the country. He made this statement at the opening ceremony of the branches of the newest branch refurbished at Klein Town. Victor Jones was there, and he now reports.
EcoBank Sierra Leone commenced business in November 2006. 15 years down the line, the bank has been able to make a formidable grip of the banking market across the country.
We have prepared and presented to the business community more space to do business, more space that is fit for purpose, because we have been in this building for over 12 years when Klein Town branch was opened. For those of us who know the branch, it was a one floor branch, very small, and the business in the port area had expanded way beyond the capacity of the branch. We were not able to deal with our growing customer needs. So it was necessary for us to not only expand the ground floor, but come upstairs and actually have another floor to be able to deal with the increasing banking needs of our customers in this area.
The bank's outlets in Sierra Leone have all been strategically placed in locations with high traffic. The bank differentiates itself in the market with a range of digital offerings available to customers.
The refurbishment of this branch clearly demonstrates EcoBank's continued commitment to the provision of banking and financial services to Sierra Leoneans. It is our hope that the new look and feel of the Python branch will help improve the experiences of customers who visit the branch.
The Pan-African Banking Group has also been similarly gripped by the COVID-19 pandemic.
For the COVID and moving this branch, I'm coming to be specific to Clienttown branch. During the COVID, for us to operate from the container was quite a challenge. We had a container network opposite in the parking lot of the Port Authority. It was a big challenge. But luckily that has been solved. We didn't have any events because we were very particular about the COVID protocols.
Now this is a structural upgrade at Clienttown. SLBC, Victor Jones.
It's now time for the latest news around Africa. Two senior officials of Namibia's ruling party, SWAPO, have died from complications linked to COVID-19. Chief Samuel Akma, 63 years old, Deputy Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, and Kilus Nguvwa passed away over the weekend. In the last 10 days, 9 national leaders have died from coronavirus, and they include the Over-Herero Genocide Negotiations Team leader Zedekia Ingavure, Over-Herero Paramount Chief Advocate Vekui Rukoro, Lieutenant General John Mutwa, and Lucas Hangula, and former ministers Sabat Ankama and Chief Kilus Ingwava. The country now has 46 positively rating amongst new 46% positively rates among new corona test results. Gunmen attacked a boarding school in northwestern Nigeria's Kaduna State on Sunday night. Some 140 students were kidnapped, presumably to exchange them for a ransom, a member of the school said. A teacher of the Bethel Secondary School boarding home, Emmanuel Paul, also said the attackers took 140 students with them. 25 managed to escape. Some 165 students were sleeping in the boarding school at the time of the attack. The 60-odd gunmen surmounted the fence to enter the school, and everything indicates that they arrived on foot. This is the third major attack in Kaduna in the last 3 days. South African prosecutors have announced progress in their bid to extradite Indian-born brothers who are accused of being at the center of a large corruption scandal during Jacob Zuma's presidency. The prosecution authority said Interpol had issued a notice against the two Gupta brothers, Abdul and Rajesh, making it possible for them to be arrested and extradited. They fled South Africa in 2018 and are thought to be in the United Arab Emirates. The three Gupta brothers have denied using their close links to Mr. Zuma to gain contracts to embezzle state assets. President Cyril Ramaphosa has estimated that $40 billion was stolen from the state during Mr. Zuma's time in office. Let's now go over to our entertainment news.
And welcome to Entertainment News with me, Cynthia Kamal. Well, for the progress so far in the movie industry of one of our actresses, let's quickly find out what's happening. Popular actress Elise Kelvin Judge started her acting career at a tender age by participating in drama both at school and church, and this has helped her in nourishing her skills towards mastering certain roles in acting. Some of the techniques involved in acting movies require persistency. Dilys has developed passion for every role in the film industry. She has performed different roles like lawyer, soldier, pregnant woman, and many more. Most interestingly, the Sierra Leonean actress is headed for excellence. The recent film in which Dilys Kelvin Judge is featured is titled Lamatu. Let's take a look at her performance.
Just to have the opportunity to talk to you.
Any man that comes to you at this stage of your life is a distraction.
Forget your mom. She has lived her life. See, it's your time now. Do not allow anyone to spoil this love that we share. You are my true love. You're my happiness. You're my heart's desire. My everlasting flame. I cannot think for a moment without you in my mind. I cherish you, my princess of beauty. You know what? I'll buy you a designer sneaker.
A designer sneaker?
Yes,
for me?
Pants. Yes.
Don't you think it will start distracting me? No, you love me. What do you know about law? Then why didn't he allow you to finish your education before making you pregnant? Because all the hanging bossy like a change. It on all day, nothing all day. Money for buyback for yourself all day. I don't want to get soon in life.
If you were intelligent, if you had gone to school like your mates, you would not have been getting pregnant every day.
With these skills in the young Sierra Leonean actress, there is no doubt that her collaboration with international actors, as she is seasoned and up-to-date, will believe that she can represent the country well and let the world to know that Sierra Leone has talents which the rest of the globe could tap into or utilize. Congratulations to Dennis George, as we await to see your exceptional performance in future, as we can't wait to look forward to the movie. Well, that's all in this edition of Entertainment News. I'm Cynthia Kamara. Goodbye.
Thanks to Cynthia Kamara for that. Now it's time for the latest update on sports.
Hello and welcome to Sports Updates on News Hour with me, Abdul Kabir. We begin with football. Musa Noah Kamara and Saidu Mansare have now been included in President Bio's package, according to a news release from the National Sports Authority. Now, the Sierra Leone single-leg amputee football team prepares for African Cup of Nations tournament in Tanzania this year. Mohamed Toure tells us more.
In October this year, Sierra Leone single-leg amputee sports club will participate in the Amputee Football Nations Cup in Tanzania as a show of solidarity. According to the public relations officer Albert Malin Mustafa, they are going to Tanzania to compete and bring home laurels, but noted that that could only happen if they were funded to meet all their obligations ahead of the competition.
We have already qualified with no single cent, with no support. So imagine the government give us the support that we desire to go to African Nations Cup. And we hope His Excellency will also make fabulous promise done for equally so the able-bodied, so that we see not only for the national team, you understand, it also goes across other sporting discipline to restore dignity, confidence and hope in the lives of Sierra Leone.
For these single-leg amputee players, football can help bring joy, confidence, and hope to a disabled-friendly nation. For SLBC Sports, Mohamed Lamipoti.
Now in the international scene, the England boss, Gareth Southgate, says the team has a special opportunity to sail through to the grand finale of the European Championship. He told the BBC in an exclusive interview that they are well and truly on course to ensure that the Three Lions clinch the Giants trophy at the end of the day. Here is an highlight of that interview.
The opportunity to, bring happiness and create brilliant nights for our fans, our nation, is a very special one that you have when you play with England. It's England matches are events that bring families together, that bring communities together, and they are matches that you remember where you were. And some of the nicest messages you get are that people appreciate how the players have been, that they feel they can connect with them. They should be very proud of that, and it's also lovely that certain generations of fans are seeing England for the first time, and these are their formative memories. Bless them, they think it's always like this. So maybe over a period of time they'll know different.
Sports Updates on News Hour, hence here, I'm Abdul Kabir. Thanks for watching.
Well, thanks to Abdul Kabir for that sports update. To end the news, the main points again. President Julius Maada Bio has received former head of state Valentine Melvin Strasser at State Lodge after his medical treatment in Ghana. Mr. Valentine Strasser was accompanied by a high-powered delegation from Ghana, including the High Commissioner Francis Anderson. The Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Timothy Kabah, was at the Queen Elizabeth II Quay to inspect the merchant vessel CL Judy, the Marampa Mines' first ocean vessel to arrive on the shores of Sierra Leone for export of the previously contested Marampa iron blue ore. And NACOVERC has issued out several public health advisories to curtail the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, which NACOVAX Deputy Coordinator Operations Pillar Lead Frank Williams says would be enforced to the letter of the law, and defaulters would face full penalties. Thank you for watching News Hour. Continue with us on SBC. I'm Harold Williams. See you again later.